And we are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sunday Nights with Those Guys. And I guess that's it. Welcome to Sunday Nights with Those Guys. What's up, Tom? What's up, Herman?
How are you, Lawrence? Hey, Herman. How are you, Herman?
How you doing there, Tom?
Now, of course, somebody was supposed to come by and buy a stack from me and some motors. And they said they'd come by later. And I'm like, look, I'm doing a live stream later. Okay. So don't take it personal. But and this guy just hit me. To hell with him. The hell with
What's up, gentlemen?
What's up? Welcome to Sunday Nights with Those Guys. AZ Drone Dude, how are you? Classic, Daryl Hickman. A few other people were here earlier. Another week's going by. You know, every time Herman's show comes, I say, okay, I have a few days before I have to do a live stream. And then Friday gets in, I'm going, damn, live streams in 2 days. Then Saturday comes, the weeks are going by really, really fast. Hey, what's up?
Age.
Hey, Tom.
It's old age,
what's up,
dude.
Recovery One?
That's what happens with old age, okay?
Yeah.
We can't wait. When we're young, we can't wait to be older.
True. And then once you're
younger.
once you're old enough, you're like, I wish things would slow down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you were younger, things went by. It seemed like the day went by fast for you, and you wish it was longer.
Yeah. A lot of times I say there's not enough hours in a day. What's up, Recovery One? How are you, man? How's everybody this fine Sunday evening, Sunday morning in Australia, and late Sunday night in the UK? For those of you who are listening, sign of getting older. You're right, dude. But you're right. Recovery One agrees.
Back to life.
He agrees with you. What I did, I just thought about what I did, Tom, with OBS. What I did was I made the screen a source. What I have to do is make it a multi-function tab and make the screen a source, but I have to input something that plays audio into it. Once I combine those two into a scene, then
you got to go soak up some OBS YouTube videos, Lawrence.
I know. Well,
the how-to 1, 2, 3, 99, 100, 101. OBS is pretty extensive.
I'm going to get some help tomorrow, 12 noon our time, which is 5 p.m. his time, from Sean Geeksvana. We're going to Skype up, and he's going to give me the crash course, because I've been playing around with it for a few days. And
recovery drone, those rocks behind me, that's 7 Magic Mountains, and that's an art installation in the middle of the desert. So, and what I did with that shot was I had my Nikon Z6 on a tripod, and then what I did was I used a long shutter, and I actually painted the rocks with a flashlight, high-powered flashlights, because they were backlit. So, a little technique called painting with light.
Stevie, how are you?
What's up, Eddie? Hey, Stevie, how you been, bro?
Are you back in New York, Stevie? How's everyone doing? I see people are starting to pop in as usual, and we appreciate it.
Hey, what's good, man?
It would be kind of discouraging. I remember when I started out back
what's good, man?
Early 2000s doing internet radio, which is basically the same as this, except I was playing music. And he says HDR, Tom?
No, actually, that's a single shot. That's painting with light. So that was just a long exposure.
Okay.
And kept the shutter open for several seconds as the sun was just starting to peak. And then I had one of those high-powered flashlights.
What's up, Welsh Rob?
And while the shutter was open, I was painting the rocks with the light. So the sensor was absorbing that, and that helped those colors pop.
Okay, very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Old style. Doing it old style.
Well, all the way from New Zealand. How are you? Propaganda. We appreciate you coming and checking us out from New Zealand.
Propaganda X.
It's It's morning time there in
Yep.
New Zealand, like it is in Australia, and we appreciate it. I had
Yeah,
mentioned,
what's the time over there?
yeah, what time is it where you're at? Propaganda, we'd be interested
At
to
the
know.
same time on the, well, depending on where they are in New Zealand.
That's
Hey, what's up,
that's
Coach Rob?
true because Tim Jackson, who's in Australia, it's usually about 6 or 7 a.m. there. That's why I was wondering what's up. Hey, what's up, Pratt Plays? How are you? And welcome Sunday nights with those guys. Anyway, I was trying to set up the live stream a little different, but that didn't work
Okay.
out. So I maybe by Herman's show on Wednesday nights with those guys, we'll have everything working at least half decently.
That's good on me.
Now, I have a button set up for the bottom screen. Now, let's see if that works. Let's see how that works out. And of
So for
course,
those of you that are interested, it's 10 o'clock in the morning.
okay.
Okay. And I believe that was Wellington. So
Bottom
New Zealand.
screen, that does not show bottom screen. Okay. All right. None of it works. I give up.
Yeah.
Gotta learn it.
I will. I will eventually. I will.
Eddie
It's
was
just a matter of
playing around with it.
it's 10 a.m. It's just done 10 a.m. So he's
Yeah.
actually later than Tim Jackson because where Tim Jackson is in Australia, it's about 6 or 7 in the morning. There's about a 3-hour difference. What's up, Bill, Coast to Coast Drones?
Coast to coast, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah,
What's up,
propaganda.
Bill?
Propaganda X. We don't. Eddie Nunez is right. I thought we did have a local propaganda or someone like that, but okay. I haven't seen him for a while. I thought the name looked familiar. That's why I didn't say anything too much about it. Hey, Paul Murray, what's up?
What's up, Paul? How are you, Paul?
Sunday nights with those
Paul
guys.
Murray.
So
Paul Murray.
Yeah, Eddie was playing. Eddie was playing with OBS last week on YouTube.
Mhm.
You know, struggling.
Mhm.
There's a lot to learn there because there's a lot behind OBS. So there's a lot you can do there.
There is.
You can have these scenes all set up and then swap stuff in quickly.
Well, see, this way, like this, right? This is what I can do, right? I can go to the virtual camera and then this will come up. And then I have my gaming set up for when I'm playing a video game. I have my bottom screen, which is not I have it off. Okay, my bottom screen, which is showing the live stream here. And then I have an intro screen, which was supposed to show an opening video at the beginning of the live stream. But that was a big fail. It showed
Yeah,
the
Eddie
video,
said
but
he had
there
a
was
problem
no
with the
audio.
double audio and OBS,
Yeah.
but he figured it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's you got to tinker with it. But again, you're an FPV guy. You should love tinkering.
Shout out to the local propaganda. Tom, I'll have it figured out by tomorrow. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Fly Zone Drone Quadcopters. How are you, Mike? What's going on, everyone? How's your week going so far,
Welcome,
Herman?
everyone. Well, I'm good. I mean, I've been doing a few things. Well, walking.
Well, that's a good thing, man. You walking a lot, or
yeah,
I've been
stretching it.
Yeah, I've been walking. We're doing some walking.
And you, Tom? You, Tom? What's up with you? I know you're
busy out here, man.
I know you're up there working.
Well, on the off chance that there's a weekend or two, we're out exploring. But then again, we get off of work around 2 o'clock our time in the afternoon, so that leaves us plenty of time to jump in a car and go.
Eddie says he flew his DJI FPV yesterday at Flushing.
Oh yeah, huh? How'd that go, man?
Yeah, how was it? I remembered why I didn't want to buy it. LOL.
Yeah.
Why? Because you have to put on goggles? Is that the issue? What are you?
No. He's been an FPV for a while, so
I know that's why I found the statement strange.
Yeah. No, he's we'll see. Stevie. Yeah, we went out to this ghost town in the El Dorado Canyon area. So I started posting a little series online. But
Okay.
And then Lawrence, to satisfy you, yeah, I'll be dropping a video probably this evening. But you know what? With YouTube, I got to keep it private for about a day, just so it renders.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
it's 24 hours. If you
Yeah, I know.
upload anything to YouTube now,
Yeah, don't release it right away.
it
Yeah.
used to be if you uploaded something in 4K to YouTube, and this changed recently, it would take about an hour to
Yeah,
2 hours.
yeah, yeah. It wouldn't take that long, but
Now,
now forget about it.
now
Yeah.
if you upload anything in 4K or above to YouTube, it's going to take 24 hours. So FYI, if you guys you flew 5 packs and it went to DJI, it felt
So,
underpowered, plus made me do an update before takeoff, then connect my
man,
phone to get authorization.
you got to rub and tickle it at home before you bring it out, Eddie. Jeez. You got to,
This is,
you know what? Not only that, you got to feed it each and every one of your batteries. Okay. So she goes, oh, that's you slipping in the back end? Okay, buddy. Each battery has a firmware update too. So it's such a pain in the ass. But that's typical of the DJI. See, you're not used to it anymore.
yeah, and if you
That
had
must
to
be what it
get
is.
authorization, that is true DJI.
And underpowered, well, it's a matter of you've been used to lifting the 20-pound bars with your FPV, and now we just handed you a 10-pound bar. So
Yeah, well,
give it a little time, you'll flex it.
he says he has Billy Kyle Croton Dam video coming out today or tomorrow, depend on when it's 4K. Well, if you put it
Yeah.
up to date, it'll be 4K 24 hours later. I've
Yeah,
come to
well,
find out.
that's when you can depend on it, right? It can be any
Yes.
time between an hour and a half and 24 hours. The problem is if you predict wrong, then you piss off half of your audience.
Yeah,
So,
I would schedule it for 24 hours from the time you uploaded it, just to be sure. Seriously.
just to be sure.
Yes, yes, definitely. But anyway, everything is good over here. Like I said, I fixed 2 birds this weekend. One of them I
What happened
still
to it?
have some quirks with. Well, my FR7, the capacitor on my long distance bird, the capacitor burnt on it. And for some reason it started acting funky. So I just replaced the entire stack.
Okay.
Justin, you guys know Justin, Drone Evolution. He put in the ESC power distribution board for me with the power leads, sort of like this. I can't well, it's covered now, but I have a flight control on top of it. But the power leads that hold the XT60, this wire right here is real thick. And then I don't know how to put this piece on. My soldering gun doesn't get hot enough or something. I don't know. But he does them for me. And then I put the flight controller on and connect and do the rest of the soldering. Drone Life RC, how are you? Uploaded yesterday. It's sitting in private.
Yeah, looking
Then
forward to see it, Eddie.
it should then, if you uploaded it yesterday, it should be in 4K by now, depending on the time you upload it.
Anthony threw out a nice video. So yeah, really nice video. Invincible Storm film. So
Yeah,
I get a chance to catch that
I
one.
saw her
Also,
short.
He did
He
a nice
did.
travel log there with Courtney and the boys.
Okay. Well, not a whole lot's
He
going
highlighted
on.
some
All
of
right.
Eddie's flying.
We have 4 stories. The first one I'm going to do is with
I checked that out.
Samsung Electronics. Okay, Samsung Electronics is getting into the drone delivery game, and I thought this was interesting because they're doing it in Oranmore, Ireland. Now, this particular spot that they've chosen, Oranmore, Ireland, Ireland. I said island, Ireland. You got to get that ire out. In Ireland, it's interesting because these deliveries will be done in 3 minutes, or less. And what I mean by 3 minutes or less, if you order a Samsung phone, any Samsung device that can fit into a box, maybe 8 by 14, and you live within a decent range of this launch point, you can have it delivered in 3 minutes. Now, I actually I have a video showing how the lady takes the order, she makes the order, and from the time you click the order, it starts counting down. Now, this drone is called a Mana. is by a company called Mana. I've never heard of them. I've thought I've heard of a lot of drone companies, but this particular company, Mana, supplies the drone, and they are the first drone delivery company in the world to be delivering electronics. Everyone else, is you're used to hearing stories about drones delivering COVID tests and blood samples and body parts and stuff like that. Well,
Yeah, medical
Mana,
supplies and stuff.
oh, here it is. Available through the service are such products such as the Galaxy S21 Ultra, the Galaxy Buds Pro, Galaxy Tab S7, Galaxy Watch, and the Galaxy A series phones. So basically, any small electronics, this particular drone will be able to deliver. Now, I do have a video, but let's see if I can get it to come up now. Yeah, here we go. I didn't do that. Oh, there it is. It's supposed to be, this is it. Now, like I said, 3 minutes or less, you make an order and it starts counting down, and that's the particular drone, and you get an alert saying to go outside, look up to accept delivery. You go outside. It's funny how they go outside with the kids and stuff. This drone isn't actually all that big, but it's big enough to carry this box, and it does drop it with the tethered system, except it cuts the line. You see, I just wanted to play that back real quick, and I'll pause it, because as he's tethering it down right here, the line drops. So it lowers it on a thin line, and then you can pick up your drone, pick up your box, and it'll go, which I think might be kind of interesting if somebody tried to get smart and try to yank on it. That's a very slick device, a slick way of doing it, you know. My only problem with it, okay, it says, what, the company launched its new service in Orangemore, some 125 miles of Dublin, through a partnership with Ireland's Mana Drone Delivery. I need to do some more research on Mana Drone Delivery, but the drone does a speed of 35 miles per hour to reach homes in Orangemore within 3 minutes, according to Samsung. So I wish they would have given it in kilometers, or what's that?
That's interesting. 3 minutes. I wonder how it's a close proximity to this.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. The story doesn't say how far it is in miles and kilometers, because at 35 miles an hour, you can cover a good little bit of distance.
Well, yeah,
no doubt you're going to pay a premium for that quick delivery service too.
Oh yes, most definitely.
And they'll get over on that for a while it's still a novelty. But
true. That is
if I get it tomorrow and it's $60 cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Right, JSK. Hey, what's up, Mr. JRCs? What's up, Night Train? And JSK brings up a valid point. How much more are you paying for that service? But you figure door to door, it's the same thing. You go into the pizza shop, you pick up a pie, or you have the pie delivered. You have to take into account there's a tip for the driver, and other small fees they don't mention.
Your purchase price.
Yeah, of course. It's probably added to the purchase price, but I think it's pretty slick, because if they're delivering electronics, all right, you don't have to wait for the postal or UPS for them to bring you your replacement phone. Samsung will send you one, if provided you live in that part of Ireland as well.
Well, again, it's a test bed right now. I mean, it's probably a central delivery point.
Yeah, it's just a test type of thing, just like with the other story we covered on Wednesday with
you had froze for a microsecond
and stuff like that, and how they delivered the coffee and the Pepsi only in one specific county. You know that.
Yeah,
it's a test thing, just like even with UPS and what UPS is doing with Matternet.
Right. Well, they mentioned that in this article.
Hospital complex, it's not a broad spectrum of delivering throughout that whole city in that area of North Carolina. It's just within from one hospital, building to the other, within that hospital complex.
Right. Well, they mentioned that in this story as well. They go on to say UPS gained approval from the FAA in 2019 to use drones for delivery, starting with ferrying medical supplies within hospital campuses. We've known about that. We've also done stories on that. Then it goes on to say that Amazon gained regulatory approval in 2016, but in the United Kingdom to use autonomous drones for deliveries. Okay, so the fact that this is the first company to actually start delivering electronics, it's showing that the business is growing. I mean, if you know of a drone company that's just starting out there, if they have a decent name to them, it would probably be worth investing in if they're public. You know, I mean, UPS and a few of these other companies, Amazon, Matternet.
Dude, I'm still investing in marijuana companies. Okay, my money's tied up in marijuana right now. So.
New York is about to pass the law, dude.
Yeah, so sometime in December of 2022, you'll be able to go buy yourself something. There you go.
Then now, see, that would be a good investment. From what I understand, in California, Snoop Dogg has his own pharmaceutical marijuana company, and it's doing very
please,
well.
all the celebrities have jumped on the bandwagon, man.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody has a brand out there. Everybody has a brand.
Drone Life says, will it deliver my car? Well, in pieces.
No, see, here's how it works. Here's where it's really gonna take hold. When you deliver marijuana with it, okay, legal or medicinal, and it comes. They have the home delivery now. Okay,
but we already did a story on that, Tom.
Now you couple the two.
It was a company that found a drone company. One of these marijuana companies found a drone company to deliver for them that can hold X amount of bricks.
Well, Paul Murray I think he calculated, and he said at
1.7
miles for 3 minutes. That's 1.7 miles
based on how many meters per second.
That's not too bad. That's really nice.
All this is a spike in. It's a hub and spoke delivery system. That's all it is. So they identified a location in Arnmore Island where they turn around and they have a distribution center, and they're offering residents within a certain area.
Yeah.
And remember, 1.7 miles as the crow flies is a lot longer than it is on a roadway.
Yes, it is.
A lot shorter.
Straight line.
Okay, so
in a straight line.
So now you got a nice radius you're working, right? So you're talking about almost 1.8 miles. Now that is basically a 3.6 mile range that you have from this center. Okay,
that's not
everything
bad.
contained in that area can be serviced.
Well, I just pulled
probably
up
a good test.
I just pulled up Arnmore, Ireland on Google Maps, and this is it right here. Let me just move it to the center of the screen and move in. And it doesn't look like a very large town. So I could see.
You gotta zoom out a little.
I could see, all right, at this point, 1 inch on the map is 1,000 feet. So it is a rather small sized town. So I could see somewhere in this immediate area, them actually making that feasible.
Yeah, it would probably be smack center in the city.
Right. If you put it smack center here or somewhere in this immediate area where my mouse is, you can travel in either direction within.
Well, drop a point right there where it says Mariana Moore FC, right? Drop a point there. Don't zoom too far in, but right click and hit measure.
Right click and hit measure. Okay.
Measure distance. Measure distance. Right?
Okay. And
now drag out a line and just click. Now just click. See how far you are.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. 2.8 miles. So
you're nowhere near. Okay.
Yeah.
So pull that one point out now. Pull that point out. You can drag it dynamically.
Yeah, you can turn it
and bring it out to
1.47 miles over
Keep
here.
Going,
1.8 miles. So
no, you're not at 1.8 miles. You're at 1,500 feet.
Oh, that's feet. Oh, yes, that is feet. Okay, yes. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Drag, bro,
Let's
drag.
go out. Let's go out to 5,000 something feet.
You're going to be at you're going to be almost at 9,000 feet.
I'm going out to 5. Here's 1,000 feet right here. That covers
Keep
the
going,
entire
man.
town and some from what I see here. All right, that's 1 mile. Let's go to 1 point. Let's
There
go
you
to
go.
2
You just
miles. Here's
passed
the
it. So
2
back
mile.
up, back
Here's
up.
the 2 mile radius.
Right. If you back up a little, you'll see you're at 1.7, which is quite enough range.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's see if we can go to 1.8, 1.9, 1.7. This is 1.7 miles right here.
Yeah.
And
So-
that goes
so-
well into the next
Correct.
town. 1.7 miles. Okay. That I could see that being feasible. That makes a lot of
and
sense.
that's why you pick an area that you can service and use it as a test and
That's smart.
see if that test gets any traction.
Yeah, I believe it will. I believe it will. That's interesting though. That's
Once
really
Apple takes a hold of it, forget it. It's all over.
interesting.
You get your replacement device, your replacement watch. Okay. The next
That's pretty slick because it from that 1.7 mile radius,
Serious?
you can cover quite a few towns with that.
Hold on a second. Next day service is no longer good anymore.
you know, Herman, in Manhattan,
you know, if you
can
live
get
in
a
Manhattan,
replacement
Herman,
iPhone
can get it in
delivered to you
24
within
hours.
4 hours. Okay. In Manhattan, you can get an iPhone replaced within 4 hours.
Yes, you can.
Delivered to your door.
You can order something from Amazon on the island of Manhattan and get it in less than 24 hours.
You can actually order
You can
from
do that
Amazon
too.
in the 5 boroughs, 300
Yes.
square miles of New York City and get it same day.
Same day.
On products.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Covering 310 square miles. Okay. All I will tell you,
I've done
people
it
that
already.
don't live in New York, is you can't even travel across New York in a damn day. Okay.
True.
The damn traffic.
Sure you can.
Depending on what time you leave.
Herman, today, guess what? I covered 37 miles in 25 minutes. Okay. With no staying within the law, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got speed limits of 75 miles an hour out.
We do have to state that. Definitely. You
Lawrence.
guys click that like button, please. We appreciate it.
Lawrence, I
Very,
used to
very
make
much.
deliveries with a truck in the city.
Yeah.
And the guy showed me, he was like, if that's how you're going to turn the corner, you're never going to make these deliveries. I said, what you mean?
Oh, you got to push your way through.
He said, put the truck on it. Because in Manhattan, that dude will see you going into the crosswalk with the truck and he'll step off the curb.
Eddie said on an e-bike, you can do the whole island, right? Hey, Eddie, what about the guy who did it on a motorcycle in breakneck speed, then posted it on YouTube, and then the cops tracked
Oh, there was a
down?
guy who did it in a car also. He encircled
Yeah.
the island of
Yeah.
Manhattan.
There's been several of those, right?
And posted it on YouTube.
Dude,
and then
15
was
minutes
like,
of
how did I
fame
get
is
caught?
a drug that some people
That's
just
a
can't shake.
That's incredible for him to get across the Cross Bronx Expressway.
Yeah, but the hour he
I'd
was
give
doing
it
it, I
to
think,
him.
was like 3 to 5 in the morning. So very minimal traffic. And he
Lars,
timed it so that when he started on the west
Lars,
side.
there's no such thing as minimal traffic on the Cross Bronx Expressway.
Dude, I can remember 4 distinct times where I was almost killed on the Cross Bronx as I was working the job. Okay,
Wow.
the scariest road on the planet.
There's no such thing as minimal traffic on the Cross Bronx Expressway.
Hey, Herman, we
honestly
even
wouldn't
had to
know.
change the lighting pattern on the back of our vehicles
Uh-huh.
because prior, years ago, it was a traffic pattern, a light pattern that actually, to drunk drivers, seemed like landing lights.
Oh, get out of here.
Oh, they might get seizures.
So no, while you're operating on the highway at a MVA, motor vehicle accident, the lights on the back of your apparatus, your ambulance or your apparatus or your RV, your police vehicle, were flashing in certain patterns that a drunk driver just gets mesmerized by it and then just hones right in on it.
So, right into it.
That's why you always put your apparatus about 100 yards in front of the accident and always walk up to the accident scene, not be right on the
Yeah,
accident scene.
yeah.
So-
That's what.
and
that's-
people bitch and moan about that, like you're blocking more traffic. Yeah, I'm just trying to stay alive for the next day. That's all.
Understandable. I see
Yeah.
lots of accidents all the time where, well, I see it on video where people are doing rescue or police investigation, and because they're looking at at what's happening on the side of the road, they veer over, they hit vehicles. It can be quite
Sure.
I
dangerous.
still do not know
It's-
why there
put a
aren't
spike strip
visual
out.
barriers between oncoming lanes, right? I mean, what I mean by that is biggest problem we have in large cities is rubbernecking, which basically means everybody's got to see the accident, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you put louvered partitions up, okay, you can't see the other side of the road and you'll keep driving. You'll be less distracted.
Right.
Plus, it'll knock down light. When you get really fatigued at night when those headlights come
You know what,
at you, right?
Oncoming glare.
Now, but the thing
Tom
is,
Cruise
you
didn't
still
bring
need
that
to
whole
maintain
concrete
access.
barrier up.
Well, no. See, a concrete barrier is no good because in public safety, the only way into an accident scene could be from the other approach, right?
Right.
So you might be coming on the other side and you still have to get over. So what you do is you put what we call Jersey barricades, right? They come up about 30 inches of concrete. And then above that, what you put is you put these louvered
Right.
partitions
I've seen it.
that as you're driving, and they're slightly angled. So as you're driving, you can't see the other side and the lights coming from the other side aren't blinding you. But when we roll up on the scene, we can step between them to get to the other side.
I've seen it.
Okay.
Okay. And they use them in several cities. They're very effective. And that cuts down on rubbernecking. And rubbernecking is so damn dangerous. Like you said, how many rear end collisions are caused by rubberneckers? Because they weren't paying attention. They were looking at the other
Tons.
side. The next thing they know is
Literally-
is the other car.
Literally tons.
That and poor lane changing causes
Drone
most
shots.
traffic jams.
Yeah. Well, the number one, and this is something everybody has to take at heart. You are most prone to hitting a pedestrian while making a left-hand turn.
Because something's blocking it.
And we all take left-hand turns a little too quickly. Okay.
Excuse me
Number
one
one
second.
impact for pedestrians, for motor vehicles, and cyclists is motorists making left-hand turns. So think about it next time you make a left. Just take a couple of miles an hour off that speedometer. That's all.
You're absolutely right. You know what?
And until we solve the
and then here's what
blind
and
spot,
here's what some guys will tell you. Where was that the guy on the bike? The guy on the bicycle was over that side. Where was he going? Was he traveling in the same direction as I was traveling in?
well, first off, it shouldn't matter. When you are making a turn, if there's
I
anything
can
in your
guarantee
path,
you that lawyer will ask that question.
well, he can
Because
ask
if
the turn.
so-
You know what?
No,
I'd
because
rather
if so,
be
he
asked
was
by
not
a
supposed
lawyer.
to be on that side of the street.
I'd rather be asked by a lawyer why I was riding my motorcycle or bicycle the wrong way than them asking how I got killed. Okay, so all you got to do is slow down a little.
Stevie says idiots are the leading cause of car accidents. It was on the news.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely.
I could believe that. I could seriously
And that
believe that.
reported by the squad. What's going on there?
Well, all I know is the way people's rubberneck in New York City. I would agree if they made that middle divider higher, that would be a major accomplishment. Because I know people that I've seen cars flipped over and rubberneckers have to slow down and try to get their cell phone and you know.
Well, how many times have you been sitting in traffic? And when you get to where the traffic is slowing down from, you realize, oh, there's an accident on that side of the road. And it's only because everyone is slowing down to see what's happening.
Yeah.
And it cuts 15, 20 minutes off of your trip.
And part of the problem today is
added on
everybody
to it, I
thinks
should
they're
say.
shooting a World Star video. Okay, come on. That's the biggest problem. Okay,
Yeah.
so either Eddie's going to have it out by 9 p.m. tonight, which you're going to do.
Okay.
With that, okay. Or
Yeah.
he's going to release it
He
tomorrow.
says he
at 6.
released it. He uploaded it at 8 p.m. last night. So I was
Yeah.
telling him it usually takes 24 hours, and it's only because I actually timed 2 videos and they averaged out to 23, 24 hours. So it's a pain in the behind. Maybe they're saving money by letting your video take so long to render. Maybe they're looking through your video a little more
No.
extensively. Who the hell knows?
So what's going on is they are basically tiering the level of service based upon your subscriber feed. Okay? It's business. I'm going to give more bandwidth to those influences that bring in more viewers because I get more ad revenue from it.
Right.
So I'm going to top tier them, and then I'm going to start to relegate everybody else below that.
It makes sense. It makes plenty of sense.
That's the way it works because there's a finite amount of processing, right?
It makes plenty of sense.
Video.
Yeah, well, that's how you deal with it now, right? That's how you deal with it.
And he says it happens to big YouTubers as well. Well, see,
it definitely happens to big YouTubers, but I really don't think it's happening to Casey. Okay, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Schedule it.
And when we talk about big YouTubers, guys, if we're not talking about those in the millions of subscribers, they're not big YouTubers to YouTube. Okay. The 100,000 subscribers, yeah, YouTube loves you. Okay.
Mr. JRCs, thank you for the super chat. He says, tell the wife this paid for FPV stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Diane, I just got a super chat, so it'll cover the next board I get.
Yeah.
Nothing.
The postage, you mean the postage on the next board?
Thank you so much, Mr. JRC. Very much appreciated. Have you guys noticed? I want you to when you go to someone else's YouTube page now, I've noticed this on mine because I am monetized, right? They give me a commercial button here. Actually, let me show you.
I agree.
I'll share the screen real quick. Right up here where my mouse is moving around, that button says insert an ad. And they claim that they want you to do it randomly every 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how long you're on. But what I've also noticed, and maybe you guys can notice this too, if you go to other people's YouTube channels who are monetized, the videos that they put out, they added an applaud button. Now, I'll explain. Hold on. I'll show you.
Channels that are pushing video, right?
Right. For the channels that are pushing videos, I'll pull one up right here from my channel. I will pick a random video. Let's pick this one here. All right. Right here at the bottom of the screen where it says like, dislike, there's a little heart that says applaud.
Yeah, it says applaud, right?
So if I click applaud, it allows you to donate $2, $5, $10, $50, up to $50. But I don't see it on everyone's channel, which I don't understand. But I have had people applaud certain videos and stuff like that, but I'm wondering how that works, because some people that do live streams like Roger or Val who have members, or like Ken Heron, you can become a member of their page. Their videos don't have that applaud button. So I mean, YouTube is trying to help with the monetization and stuff with this applaud button and super chats and stickers and stuff like that. But for some reason, I guess because I push videos, I don't have members. If I did, that's what you said, Herman, it's specifically for live streams. That would make a lot of sense. That would make a lot of sense. I'm the little guy watching the big YouTubers. Yeah, same here. Same here, Stevie. How are those caterpillars? And they're gone, Eddie. For some reason, they were supposed to redo 18 jetties. They added 2 jetties and they extended them from, I think it was from 75 to 100 feet to 400 feet. But they're gone. The excavators are gone. The Army Corps of Engineers are gone. I was going to go up there and fly the other day, and Anthony Charles, Invincible Storm, you guys may know him on YouTube as the Invincible Storm. If you don't, check out his channel. He does some magic with Adobe Premiere. When I say magic, he can reach and open this door right here and take you into a video and stuff like that. That's how nice he is. Also, the air show will be on this year at Jones Beach. You plan on attending? I remember last year speaking about that, Eddie, the air show. I was out in Long Island, and we kept hearing jets flying over the house. I'm like, how far?
It's going on this year.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, they take off out of Republic. They're on Echo Ramp out of Republic. Okay, in all likelihood at this point in time, you can go up to Blue Angels on the U.S. Navy site.
I have never seen that air show.
No,
you're missing out, man.
Good, because all we did was cover air shows that were canceled all last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This year, hopefully everything gets off.
So just to double back on your applause button, by the way, YouTube's taking 60 cents on every $2. Okay.
They have some. They're killing. Yeah, but see, it's for that reason, Tom, why I see people soliciting themselves by putting their PayPals and up and stuff like that. But YouTube is going to stop that because they don't want you to go get your money externally through them.
Only if people keep talking about it.
Well, see, remember the super chat, they don't get anything for.
Yes, they get. Yes, they do. They get 30%.
Oh, they do. That's right. Yeah.
They get 30% of super chat.
They get 30%. So that's what they're taking off of this. They're taking 30% off each.
Yeah, same thing.
Well, all I can say is they could take a little less. Take more from Casey Neistat. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Those guys, and what I mean by take more from Casey Neistat, and then we'll get on to the next news story. But Casey, I'm monetized on the lowest level. On the lowest level you could possibly be monetized. Like, for example, my commercials get anywhere from 3 cents to 10 cents.
6.
Well, I told you how to
count them, 6
right,
DJI Mavic 2 Pros. All it's going to take is $1. $1. You can win one of those. Okay, you can win one of those.
Oh,
by the way, okay.
Are you doing a giveaway on Mavic on Mavic
right,
2s?
Right, yeah, for $1. Give it a break.
For $1, if you donate $1.
Now realize, so here's a couple of things you need to know.
Eddie, don't start.
Please. So on the applause button, it's only to select users, and it's only available on the desktop. You're not going to see that on a mobile device.
I did notice that. I did notice that.
Now, Super Chat's only available for creators who are part of YouTube's partner program.
And through Google AdSense.
Subscribers.
Through Google AdSense. You have to create an account with Google
partner
AdSense.
Program, yes. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you got to be fully invested in the partner program. So, you can check your own sites. You might not always see it because it didn't get rolled out to everyone.
No.
Okay.
It didn't.
No.
Didn't someone
and again, not every
overseas with one
country.
of
Right now, they rolled it out to Australia, Brazil, India, Japan, Korea, Mexico, New Zealand, and the U.S. So
they're making a killing.
It didn't get rolled out to the EU. It didn't get rolled out to the UK.
Hey, welcome, Sunrise Water Media. How are you? Well, anyway, we're going to get on to the next.
That's what you got, good, Stevie.
The next story is that port of Antwerp, the Belgian.
Snapple iced tea. Any particular flavor, Stevie?
What's that?
Stevie's giving away
a Snapple iced tea on my channel.
For $1, you can win.
Well, how about this? If you donate $1 to my Patreon page, which I don't have, but I've heard this. If you donate $1 to my Patreon page, you will win one of 4 drones that I have.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're flyable drones, right? Truth in advertising, okay?
Okay, on to the next story. We're doing this one is on the port of Antwerp in Belgium, Belgian Civil Aviation Authority.
Uh-huh.
They become the first non-aviation authority to grant approvals for flying UAVs in controlled airspace.
Yeah.
Now, what this means is the port of Antwerp,
Antwerp.
Mhm.
Antwerp.
Right.
Okay.
You got it.
I,
There
I
you go.
I thought I was saying it wrong when I said it before.
No, Antwerp. Beautiful place, by the way.
They're using UTM, unmanned traffic
Traffic
management
management.
system around their ports. And what it is, where most UTMs use a geozone to manage everything, they have a geozone manager under the UA's Aviation Authority, European Union Aviation Safety Agency. All no-fly zones in Europe will fall under watch of the geozone manager, meaning if there's a port, and this is specifically for ports, not airports and stuff like that, seaports,
Mhm.
where if you're within a 5-mile radius of this port, you would get authorization through this geozone manager.
Well,
Now, here
yeah,
in the United
because
States, we use Lance.
yeah, but let's realize what we're talking about here. Those of you that don't know, the Netherlands is one of the highest uh, uh, import export regions in the world. Okay, they're a very historic region. Also, I visited the area, visited
Hey,
Antwerp,
Louis P.
Brussels,
Louis P.
Belgium, Amsterdam. Unbelievable places. If you ever get a chance, definitely put it on your bucket list. But what they're using this for is they're using it in the port areas. So we're talking about marine shipping activities.
Right.
Okay. And the drones are used for various operations within the port operations.
Right.
So it makes perfect sense that the port management is managing the UTM of these drones flying within that zone. So if you
Yes.
want to hear
Yes.
how historic an area this is, I was in Amsterdam and we were on one of the canal boats, and then we came out into the harbor area, and there was a building there that was clearly pointed out to us. It was the West India Trading Company. Now, any of you remember from grammar school? Did you learn about the West India Trading Company? They're still
Mhm.
around, peeps. Okay,
That's
so
right.
that's how historic an area this is for
Mhm.
shipping.
Right.
So that's, when you think about, and plus they're probably enormous, there's an enormous shipbuilding industry there also. But, you know, flying these drones in the congested port requires a pretty
Hey,
adept
drone worship.
capability of managing that. And it makes complete sense that the port management themselves are the ones invested in that
Well, it
process.
does
Well,
because what they say is that the port of Antwerp will be using drones primarily for surveillance and security, and this includes everything from oil spills to
Container movement,
yes,
everything.
yes.
yeah,
Okay.
the manager is responsible for both ground and air.
Yeah.
But
Well,
what,
he's responsible
what
for
I
every
thought was
commodity.
what I thought was interesting about Tom, but both cities, also the city of Bruges, didn't they also merge both ports?
Yeah,
So
well, there's the Maritime Commission. I mean, handles all those major ports right along that area. But what you do is they're all subsectors, right?
mhm.
So this UTM provisioning that the Airspace Authority provided is for this particular port. But
Hey,
what it
Michael.
does is it lays a precedent or ground map basically for the other ports then to join on, right? You get
Right,
success here
right.
from port operations and you show the level of efficiency. Look, there's a
Right.
lot of things going on in a port, right? The
Mhm.
movement of those containers, everything now
The
can
containers, the
easily be
Well,
people, the
tracked.
but see,
cargo, the ships, the
Mark,
tugboats. There's a lot
Right.
going on. We
yeah, but
see it
Yeah.
in
Mark,
New York
this goes
Harbor.
back to what we were talking about before when both of us we that what was that we both sat down and listened to this gentleman talk from over in Europe that was talking about UTMs and how they would and how his company was doing it. I can't remember the name of the company that he's doing these UTMs with, but he was saying that how they can break it down into little different, different compartments, and how you can cover this area, that area, and then and then you can also pop up, no flies wherever you needed to in case of an emergency. Right?
Well, that's again, yeah, with the unified, the unmanned traffic management system, they're basically giving them carte blanche within that zone to handle everything soup to nuts, right? And actually probably creating an exclusion zone. I haven't seen all the detail regarding it, but I would imagine the civil aviation authorities would also then, because they're not managing the traffic, the UTM traffic in that area, they're probably barring anybody else from
flying into
activity within that area without then going into making a request with that localized UTM manager.
Right.
So it makes sense. I mean, you're going to see it happen throughout the industry. I mean, major petrochemical processing plants are enormous. We're out in the desert here, and one solar farm is larger than the next. And just imagine having to manage those. So the best thing to do is you're going to manage them when you're not going to put up a UTM because you fly a drone.
Right.
You're going to put up a UTM because you fly 25, 30, 40, 50 drones, and sometimes all at the same time. So that's where this comes in.
Well, that's just like what we were talking about when these was for surveillance and for security and stuff like that. Yeah. You know, we talked about was it Percepto when they had the drone in the box?
Yeah.
These type of things, and they can schedule this thing to take off and fly autonomously periodically throughout the day.
Right.
And it can also take off when it recognizes a breach.
Well, I bet you're going to have different layers, Herman, right? You'll have your drones that they're tasked to do a perimeter every X, right? And then you're going to have reactive drones, okay, that only take off when something is sensed. And I believe you'll start to see those solutions layered together and used more effectively as puzzle pieces fitting together. Because you can turn around and you can say, hey, we're going to have a drone circling or multiple drones circling particular patterns. They're going to autonomously land, recharge, and then get back in sequence for the next flight. And then you're going to have reactive drones or those drones that will only react to a sensor being tripped, okay? Whether it's physical movement, whether it's thermal, whether it's chemical in nature or pressure related, and then that reactive drone will take off and go to that location and then give the monitoring or the operations center that bird's eye view as to what's going on. So yeah, I this makes complete sense because in an environment like that, you need a UTM to manage all that type of traffic.
Right.
Well, it makes sense because now you will actually have subsystems. UTMs will have subsystems within the UTM itself. And this is one way of it actually happening. You think about it, you have one main UTM system, then you have a localized UTM system. And
can I tell you what's going to fuel this innovation happening quicker than not? The insurance industry. And because it'll be cheaper. Okay, the company's premiums will be cheaper because they'll have more effective systems to manage that liability that the insurance that they have to cover with insurance premiums, right? If you can lessen that risk landscape, then you're paying less to insure that landscape, right? So that's where I see this being fueled. There could be a reduction in their premiums, therefore they'll be able to invest this money in putting up more of this technology, which will further reduce their operating cost over time. And that's the only way it's going to work, right? That's the only way it's going to get funded.
Well, It makes a lot of sense. I was like, well, why don't they do this all over? And then the story goes in to say how when it comes to getting approvals, a big difference between the United States and European countries is that we implemented Lance, cutting out the slow manual review that can hold up approvals for long periods of time. Now, that works here. I could see them having something similar to a geozone manager here in the States as well, around power plants, around large
I
facilities.
see UTMs, I
Yes,
see
yes.
subset UTM
Hmm.
authorizations being provided to large entities. Okay.
Yeah.
I see the same thing happening in public safety. I see the FAA is going to set the bear trap that in a large scale incident, okay, localized public safety will then be able to manage the UTM for that disaster scene. I mean, we're kind of doing it now. I mean, you got to do it with a product like Drone Sense,
Yeah.
where we can have others, like we can bring in other agencies, other responders that want to operate within our zone. We give them basically a link that they then click on, and their info goes in, and now they are party to our management system.
Okay.
It works rather well. It's pretty extensible.
Well, I'm a firm believer that emergency response needs their own UTM management system anyway, because of after 9/11, we saw a big fail on how things were being
Well,
organized and should
interagency
have run.
communications is the crux of everybody's nightmare, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But, you know, look, you got to really understand something. Not many public safety agencies have a COA, a certificate of authorization. Most are operating under Part 107. Okay. And, you know, there needs to be more incentive for public safety agencies to get a COA, which gives them a lot more flexibility. My agency happens to have a nationwide COA, which only a few do. Okay. But a COA only covers you in the area you're authorized to leverage that COA.
Right.
But a UTM is a nice umbrella over these disparate agencies, okay, coming together. Now, that's a system we've always called mutual aid, right? Say an entity like the New York City Fire Department has mutual aid agreements with Yonkers, Jersey City, okay, Fort Lee, you know, that whole area in Bayonne, plus Nassau County, because and sections of Connecticut, because we could possibly go and assist them in those areas.
right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so we need to be able to communicate back and forth. Now, in a large scale incident where maybe you're using UAVs, you don't want UAVs colliding in the sky from different public safety agencies, causing more havoc, okay, than they're solving. So you bring them into a UTM system. It makes complete sense. And UTMs can be basically a spontaneous initiative also. Like you could have a major entity being identified as an entity that can throw up a UTM when needed. And then other entities can then join that UTM for a large scale disaster incident. It's very much how the feds do things now with urban search and rescue teams and incident management teams. There's large entities that operate those and others join into them. So
Right. Well, that's similar to what I was saying before. You know, in certain operations, you don't have to worry about interference with them, because once you start travel, once the need is necessary for for emergency services, once the need is necessary, and this is the area, it's there.
Yeah.
You know, and that is something that can be developed through most, from my understanding of how these UTMs operate and function, that
Yeah.
this is something that they can actually possibly do with what is to be in the future, and they claim for the next one, probably 6 years now before that happens.
Maybe sooner. I mean, if you look at how quickly some of the stuff is being adapted, okay, I think we're going to see a high level of acceptance over a shorter period of time.
Well, the way the way they're bringing it out, it's like it's easing it onto you slowly but surely, and then eventually you realize you're 6 feet deep in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's real easy, right? It's real easy.
I'm sitting here. I'm watching it. The drone worship was talking about how they rescued some guy's DJI FPV bird, and out in the water. And I'm like,
I thought we watched this the other day. Didn't we watch?
At the meetup, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the guy had to,
Florida.
Remember, there is no flyaway provision on DJI Care Refresh for DJI FPVs. So
that's crazy.
You either have to recover it or you're out the big bucks.
Well, the fact.
And by the way, no refund on your DJI Care. Okay. If you
well, the fact that this guy right here went out this far in the water to go recover a drone is pretty much beyond incredible. He should have gotten a reward for doing it. That's all I can say. Because had my drone went down out there, I doubt very, very much.
Okay, we're gonna have to relive the story about him going into ocean and not being able to swim. Right?
Seriously, Lawrence, you wouldn't have went that deep into the water for your drone.
Remember, we've talked about this. Him in water.
Yeah, we did.
That deep right there. Seriously?
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't have.
Wow.
I respect large bodies of water.
I mean, you and I are out there, dude. Okay, I'm sorry.
Damn, you must be fucking terrified of a tub bath.
Listen,
Jesus
dude,
Christ,
I've almost drowned twice.
He's got handrails in his shower.
I've almost drowned twice.
Please.
And the air ramp from the airplane on
He's wearing a mask and a snorkel in his shower.
All I can say is, that's Mark Fisher from Rhode Island. Okay. All I can say is it would have sat there. I'm serious. I wouldn't have went out there and looked for it.
He's waiting for the tide to go down. Okay?
Listen, dude, I respect large bodies of water. I've almost drowned twice. I'm not going to give it a third time.
Lawrence, that water was up to his hip.
That was 2 feet, and the second time was a foot.
I don't give a damn.
Okay. He avoids puddles. Walking down the street. Jeez.
Listen.
Oh man.
Listen, I'm not playing around. Seriously. That drone, that baby would have been there, and I would have been cursing out.
You that guy that would have drowned in the ice bucket challenge.
Dude, we had a name for guys like you in the Navy, in Navy boot camp. They were
what?
A sand crab?
Rocks.
Dude, I sink
they
like
were
a
called
rock.
Rocks. Okay.
I sink like a rock. Seriously.
You didn't pass your initial swim test. You went into this company called the Rocks. They give you up to 11 weeks to learn how to swim, or they put you out of the Navy. So,
listen, don't you say the problem is zebra mussels? If you get caught on them, those can cause serious infection. No, they can't, because I wouldn't have got caught on it.
Yeah.
Look. I wouldn't have went in that fucker to begin with. Plain and simple. And
12 feet back from the shoreline. Okay.
Tom, were you there? At Calvert Vaux when my 3DR Solo went down?
No. That was, in fact, you had to recover it on the other side.
On the other side of the peninsula, right? Yeah. And when it went down in the water,
who talked you into recovering it?
Everybody there, and Herman was like, "Come on, I'll drive you over there." I had already given it up for lost.
He was like,
everyone was like, "Dude, the GoPro footage, maybe GoPro footage." I know what happens with salt water and electronics. Okay.
Just
And to
watch
make a
out.
long story short, I went there. Herman drove us all the way there, and
Yeah,
we kept
gotta go
saying,
around
"Do
the
you
other
guys
side."
see a drone fall?" And the guy on the beach said, "That guy over there took it out the water." So I asked him where it was, and he's like, "It's over there under the chair." But we asked two little kids, and they're like, "No, we didn't see nothing." But they wanted the father to keep it. But to make a long story short, had they not given it to me, the towel that he had to cover with would have caught fire anyway. Because when I picked up the drone, it was still arcing. The battery was still arcing. So I immediately discharged the battery from the 3DR Solo, and I looked at the GoPro, but the GoPro was shot anyway. But because of the
3DR
salt,
Solo.
because of the salt water,
I think Eddie still owns a new one in a box.
but 3DR Solo did replace the bird, I must say. They held to their word. They did replace the bird. But I wasn't going after that
So
shit.
Lawrence, let me ask
Everybody
you,
there convinced me to go. I had given it up for lost.
so Lawrence, that story I told you that time when I was in Panama, right?
Oh,
You'd have just went under then.
dude, I wouldn't be out that fucking far. You think I'm playing?
That wasn't the plan. The plan wasn't to go out that far. The water just took me out there.
Hey, Angie, but
So
see,
so no, you're not going out on you don't go out on boats at all. You don't.
if it's smaller than a Staten Island ferry, no. And you guys want to
So
know
there goes our party boat meetup.
Staten Island
Herman.
ferry holds the Staten Island ferry holds on a busy day 200 250 people easy. If it's not smaller than if it's not bigger than the Staten Island ferry, hell to the no. I'm not playing. I'm serious. It's dude, I've almost drowned twice. That's all I'm gonna say. I've almost drowned twice. And the second time, no one knew I was drowning, and I made it back to shore and passed out on the sand while water was leaking out of my fucking mouth. Okay, from my lungs.
You're fine. Man.
All right.
You made it back when you're
You
old.
survived.
I made it back out of sheer will.
Yeah, you good.
We gotta get you in an episode with Bear Grylls or something and get you out into the wild, man.
It's not happening, I'm telling you.
Okay.
And I
Get
know
you
you
a
talk
couple
about Bear
crickets and
Grylls.
put you in the
He
water.
covers all of these areas and swims a quarter mile to an island. And I've seen his shows. No, I'll be the cameraman in a helicopter. I'll be filming it from a drone, but we don't play with large bodies of water.
Salt water, you can easily stay afloat.
So
Okay.
Listen, so I want everyone out there to know, everyone that's watching the live stream and watching the replay, if you fall
Angie had a
in
panic
water,
attack above water.
hold on,
Yeah.
guys. If you fall in water that goes above your head in front of me, don't
What's up,
expect me to
Sean?
jump in after you, because it's not going to happen.
You hear that, Herman, right?
Lawrence is that guy that'll reach his hand down, and if you can't reach up and reach his,
I'm
I
out.
tried.
Listen, I'm
Well,
on
I tried.
911. He's floating away now as we speak.
Yeah.
So if he ever falls in, just pick up the phone, 911. Yeah, he's kicking and splashing. Yeah,
Hey, Sean.
I can see Lawrence as the guy who gets on the Staten Island ferry. He's already wearing a life preserver.
I make sure the cabinet below me that has a life preserver opens. Yes, I fucking do. I'm not playing. I'm serious. I took my daughter on the Staten Island ferry first time. She's in the window like this. She's in the window. They have the closed windows. She's in the window like this. While she's looking out the window, I open the cabinet below to make sure there's life preserver in it. Yeah. Seriously.
He wears one to the beach. Okay, guys.
Oh man, and ties himself to the car in the parking lot.
Just in case that rogue wave comes in.
Listen, y'all got.
You never thought about body surfing or surfing, or how about a jet ski? Or
it's not happening.
No?
It's not happening.
Little fishing boat,
Jet
party
ski,
boat out of.
I told you, if it's smaller than a Staten Island ferry, I'm not getting on it. And if for those of you who want to know how big the Staten Island ferry is, hold on, we're gonna do this right here.
So you don't do the water parks then?
I do those. That's nothing.
So you go in the wave pool?
Yeah, that's okay.
So you go
Because
in
the wave is
hold
strong enough to wash.
on.
The
So you
wave
go in
is
the
strong
lazy
enough
river
to
and all of that stuff too?
listen. The wave is strong. The Sleepy River. I can
Yeah.
step out and touch the ground. I'm okay.
Well, that's what the guy was doing right there in the water.
No.
He
That
was standing up.
water park, man-made wave pool
He
will
couldn't
just
see
wash
the
you up on the
end.
shore.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Let me look.
He
for
couldn't see the
these
blue
guys.
painted wall on the other side. So it didn't work for him.
Listen, this is this for those of you who don't know. This is the Staten Island Ferry right here. Is this ship right here?
That's a small.
So Herman,
hold on.
We should out of his paranoia and angst, we should like create a device or make a little self-actuated.
This is the Staten Island
life
Ferry,
vest
guys. If it's
for your drone,
smaller than this,
so
I'm
when
not
it
getting
touches
on it.
water, all of a sudden it fills with air, and a little beacon goes. Oh, that's I'm sorry, an airplane life preserver. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Okay.
Listen,
You better not be the guy who gets on the airplane
around. Y'all can play
removes the
around.
life preserver.
Hey, Michael Blade, what's up, Courtney Darlington? Y'all can play the hell around all y'all
Kites
want.
is for you then, Lawrence, because you can always kites are for you then, because you can always pull it back in.
With the string, you can pull it back, yeah. Now you just gave him an idea. He's going to tie a little string to his drone. Just in case.
Listen, if it goes down, it goes down. I'm not playing around. That's all.
I can see it now.
What?
Good thing those drones don't have any feelings.
The drone is sitting there 2 feet out in the water splashing on it. Runs to the parking lot.
It no longer has a home.
40 feet of rope and ties himself to the car bumper and slowly walks out there.
See, Recovery One gets it. If I can see the edge of the water, I'm good. If I can't reach out without getting wet, it's not happening.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. I'm telling you, if you fall off a pier somewhere,
no, I'm just saying, I know how many times I gotta go up and down the ladder at work to buy a Phantom 4 Pro. You know what I mean? I weigh that.
I totally understand. I totally understand. I totally
2 feet
get
of water up to my hip.
Hey, Angie. That's right. I hang out at the kiddie pool like a boss. Then I become a lifeguard at the kiddie pool.
So for those of you,
now keep in mind, I'm 6'3". Okay.
One of the kids to drag you out the kiddie pool.
Listen, I'll snatch a floaty thing off a kid's arm in a heartbeat. You think I'm playing? They don't play.
Can you imagine that, Paul?
He's taking that. He's stealing that pool noodle.
To be honest,
Tom, you imagine that? You see the kids dragging Lawrence out of the kiddie pool, kicking and screaming.
Yeah, yeah. They had to. A 7-year-old had to rescue him.
Listen, Angie, I hear you. Listen, all I can say is I don't play with large bodies of water, and that's it. I respect water. I've almost drowned twice, and the second time, nobody knew I was drowning.
You made it out, though, right?
I made it out because nobody was coming to get me, and if they did, I'm one of those people.
That means you didn't drown, dude.
Listen, I'm one of those people.
You overreacted then.
Hold on. I'm one of those people.
Out.
If you try to rescue me from drowning, I might drown you.
No, you not me, because I'll knock your ass out.
Knock you out. Yeah.
The first thing I learned in ASSE rescue school was take command. I'm gonna roll your ass over, and you ain't gonna have a chance, okay? Because you ain't taking me down.
He was in 4 feet of water. That's understandable. I get on my knees I'm 6'3". On my knees, 4 feet comes up to here on me. On my knees. I don't play around. That's all. You want to know how serious it is? Seriously, you know how it's a spillover of a pool is constantly wet when the water's splashing, it goes into spillover. That's totally wet, right? And they're usually made of tile porcelain. It took 5 guys to pry one hand off of that thing to pull me into a pool. 5 guys.
We're talking about a city pool.
Listen,
I almost pulled the whole sidewalk from outside in the street straight into it.
By the way, the density in those pools is such that you'll never drown because you'll be able to walk over people. I mean, we're talking about a city pool here.
A city pool is for standing in cool water.
Listen,
that's it.
I
Yeah.
still don't. Hey,
At eye
Bangladesh
level.
Canadian
There's like
mom, how
six
are you?
people could turn around and end up tripping over you if you tried to drown in there.
How can you drown in 4 feet of water? Lay down.
Well, you can drown
That's
in
what
less
Courtney
than 4
Darling
feet of
did.
water.
You
but-
can drown
3 to
in
6
inches of
feet.
water, believe me.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's- there's a time and you know involved in that.
Okay, let's get on to the next story.
Well, before we do, I just wanted to share
Go for it. Go for
this
it.
for the new DJI FPV drone pilots. Okay,
Hey, crash Tom.
just slow it down a little, guys. That's all. You know, don't use those brand new skills too soon, man. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, if you're flying at top speed, someone recently put out a video saying before you put the drone in M mode, full M mode, to watch this video.
Watch the video.
Yeah, 'cause I don't remember
You're
who
talking
put it
about the
out,
sticks.
but there's something about before you put it in M mode, watch the video, and I didn't get a chance. I have it in my watch later, I think. But it had to do with people hitting top speeds and the brake not stopping you exactly when it's supposed to.
Well, no. Let's be real here, okay? In your own vehicle, when you hit the brakes, do you immediately stop?
No,
It's
you're right.
based on velocity, weight, traction, and guess what? You don't have in the sky any traction whatsoever. So
Mhm.
it's like stopping a boat.
Well, see, Tom, I
Okay,
noticed
you
that when
stop
you
the
did
engine
it.
on a boat.
Tom, remember you
It
did
keeps
it at the
going.
park? You were at full, you were at maybe what,
Yeah, no. You
whatever
have to
speed you were
compensate.
traveling at, you still cruise for about 4 feet, 3 to 4 feet before you
Well,
came to a
Braking
stop.
distance is relative to speed.
Well, Tom,
Pure and simple.
in a car, there's a lot of things involved, though.
Yeah,
True.
but
Seatbelt or
Traction
no
of your
seatbelt?
tires, traction of your tires, everything.
yeah.
When do you stop? Seatbelt or no seatbelt?
Hey, above and beyond drones, how are you? Well, anyway, to the next story.
You might
This
not
one,
stop.
this one is short and sweet, but it's a list of the best commercial drones out there for surveying and mapping and search and rescue.
Oh, Michael, I'm sorry to hear. He had a nephew pass away last year in a drowning.
Yes. I was just saying
And,
in
and
order.
believe me, in the Navy, I was an ASC rescue corpsman, so my job was rescuing people in water incidents. So yes, very dangerous. And again, get in over your head or not be with somebody else. Always use the buddy plan. And look, if you guys own a pool, just make sure there's fencing around your pool.
This is true. Happens every year.
Kids get into the damnedest places, and God forbid, a kid gets into a pool without an adult around.
You know what's crazy about the whole thing with the pools, though? Not to change the subject, prolong it, but I worked with a guy, and he was telling me about this. He had to put up a fence and lock it and everything like that because he said that he doesn't want the kids in the pool when he's not there. Not that his kids can't swim or anything like that. No, but he was more so worried about his kids having their friends over. And their friends over, because he said, my kid can drown all they want in the pool. But their friends come and drown in the pool. Now he's got all kind of lawsuits and everything that he's got to worry about.
Well, it's, you don't know.
You got to worry about when you have a pool, on your property.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, even an idiot that's trespassing could fall into your pool and drown or get hurt or something on your property. Even.
And they're relative.
And then now you got all kind of nonsense going on.
This is very, very true. But very, very true. Well, getting back to the story, it's this story of best commercial drones. They have your top five best commercial drones for surveying and mapping, and as well as search and rescue. They have here the DJI Matrice 300 RTK, the Matrice 200 series, 200 and 210 RTK, the Unique H520, the Unique Tornado H90, which is a hexcopter, and then last is a DJI Mavic 2 Enterprise. Now
Yeah.
there is also a list here, and I would assume in this particular, I wouldn't believe this order, but they do have other drones that people use for commercials, such as the Agris MG1S, the Parrot Disco, which I wonder why. Oh, Pro AG, the Atlas Pro. Intel has a drone called the Falcon 8 Plus, and something else called the Free Fly Alta, which I've never
Yeah,
heard
free.
of.
Yeah,
Yes,
and I've actually flown it. Yeah.
I've never heard of that drone.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
Yes, you have.
Yes, you have.
It's been around. It's actually in
I'm
the mainstay also.
Googling it right now. Images. I should have put images of it. Let's see. Oh, I have seen this. Okay. All right. I just didn't
Absolutely.
know the name of it. I did see. For those of you who don't know what this drone is that I'm actually talking about right now, this is it here in the upper right-hand corner. I have seen this drone.
Yeah.
I have. I just never knew what the hell the name of it was. Interesting. But for those of you who plan on getting into the commercial field, you could have something as small as the DJI Mavic Enterprise. Now, what's funny is they have the Matrice 300, the Matrice 200 series, which is a 200 and the 210, and
Yeah,
both
we
of
fly
those
the
start.
210 RTK.
And you fly. You said you've flown.
I've flown most of these, yeah, because we've tested most of these in the
For the
public safety
department.
realm for
Well,
acquisition. Yeah.
These Matrice 300 and 200 series start at 6,500 plus.
You don't even get into them at 65.
And we're not even talking with the camera. That's without the camera.
So correct. So a properly outfitted M210 RTK without payload, probably 12 thou, 12.5. Then when you add your payloads, and I'm not talking about sensor payloads, I'm talking about camera payloads.
Right.
You're up in the 35 to $40,000. I think we outfitted it completely for about 52 and change.
It must
And
be
there,
nice.
of course, there are sensors out there. There's an HNU photo analyzer sensor that the sensor itself is $165,000. So that's a single payload item that can hang under there. Now, for mapping, you definitely go RTK is going to give you the highest definition.
Yeah, recovery one
And,
says 20 to 30K full setup.
Yeah,
Easy.
yeah,
Easy.
yeah, easy. Now there are some issues with using a Mavic 2 Enterprise for mapping. There's an offset. Okay, remember the camera's on the front of that drone. Okay, and it's separated from the GPS, and that offset has to be registered in your mapping software in order for the maps to be within tolerance levels. So, the higher end drones, of course, the hectocopters, the Matrice series,
right? The Tornado and Hex series are unique.
Yeah. So you're talking about the heavier payload, and also realize that where your payload sit. Okay, so your payload on a Matrice series sits dead center of that aircraft.
True, that is true. Well,
remember we were talking about that, Lawrence?
Yeah, the center of gravity. Yes, best place to put a camera. And all of these drones, except the DJI Mavic 2 Enterprise, the legs fold up out of that 360-degree camera's view.
Whenever you're slinging a gimbal camera beneath you, you do have to retract your landing gear if you look at any of these. Except there are some out there that still don't have retractable.
Okay. I didn't know. Well, see, I'm reading the specs here, and I'm like, for example, the Matrice 300 RTK is a 55-minute flight time, depending on payload. Okay, it's
above 4K, and beyond. Yeah, you're
right.
Your pricing is right there. Now, of course, you're going to be up around 35 and change if you had a thermal imaging camera in that package. So, the X5, a great a great cinema camera. The Z30, extremely powerful 30 power zoom. I think with a 6 power digital gives you 180 power zoom capability on there. But yeah, man, adding extra lenses to your X5S is going to definitely raise your price. But you throw a thermal imaging camera in there, you start to feel it.
Yeah, what we talking?
It's a big money item.
Thermal imaging. Imagine what is that LiDAR system would cost.
Yeah, well, there are LiDAR systems out there. They're there. There's payload systems. Guys, there's a ton of different payloads to fit to a Matrice series, whether it's a 200 series, a 210,
I find
that 300.
I find that strange. Also, Recovery One, that the Phantom 4 Pro RTK was not on that list. I find it strange too.
Yeah, that's there are some issues regarding that. They'll work themselves out. But
further, I'm going to actually post a link here where I got it from.
Because I was looking at
the further down on the page, professional drones, the Inspire 2, the Phantom 4 Pro V2, and the unique Typhoon H. Okay, but as far as search and rescue, I would have thought that the DJI Phantom 4 Pro V2 or the RTK would have also been there. At least the RTK
not in
would
search
have been
and
there
rescue
as well.
Not in search and rescue. If you told me if you had the category open for mapping,
then definitely
why the unique or one of them over it, but not for search and rescue. No, I wouldn't. I mean, even though to me, I'm confused
Hey,
with
Mr. Crowley.
limited range. With its limited range.
You want to know what the best search and rescue drone is right now?
What's that?
The one you have?
No, Mavic 2 ED. Actually, the Mavic 2 EA is going to take that role, because the best, and you were just about ready to hit that one on the head, Herman. The best drone is the one that you have with you. Yeah, right. The best search and rescue drone is the one you can afford to have with you. Okay?
True.
And the Mavic 2 ED and now the Mavic 2 EA Enterprise Advanced are the best drones for local departments to have, because they can deploy them quickly and they're effective. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. The thermal imaging resolution is not that high, but you don't need it to be that high in search and rescue.
Well, I think that what they did on the newer one was a little bit much.
Well, they increased a significant increase in resolution.
Give me a second. I'll be right back.
Well, when you talk about the drone's range and its capability, you have ability to cover more ground. This is what my question is with the unique. You know, all of the other drones on this list, other than unique, can actually cover some ground. You know, I'm not saying that you need to fly 1 mile, but you know, there's obstacles everywhere in any situation, unless you got a barren land that there's nothing there, and you know, there's always trees or there's something. So 1 mile of range.
Well, it's just like, look, I have a problem having the unique on this list. I have a problem not having the Phantom 4 RTK on this list, you know? So, you know, Drone Rush, good job. Kudos to you. Put some nice stats together, but it's not the definitive. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't.
Because again, I have a firm belief the best drone out there for search and rescue today is the Mavic 2 ED and the Mavic 2 EA. And if you're in a department and you can afford those, which are compared to a Matrice, okay?
Yeah.
If you're a small local department, you're not buying a Matrice, okay?
What is that?
Somebody's got to buy that for you.
What is that?
The Anafi Dual Full is an excellent choice for those that, you know, I mean, it's not, I think the ED is such a cheaper step into it that that's where it's the big seller. Okay. You can get into an ED for around $3,500. Okay. Where I think the Anafi is what, much more than that. I forget what the pricing on the Anafi is,
What on
but I think it's much
the
more expensive. If
the
somebody wants
Nafi
to
with
look that
the
up.
thermal?
Yeah, the dual.
No.
Okay. It's capable, but again, I
Anafi
think,
thermal price, the
yeah,
Nafi thermal pricing starts at 1900. I see
with the thermal,
1900, 1900, 1600 used. No,
Mhm.
1900 Anafi thermal.
wow, that's cheap. Then I'm off base, man.
Yeah, I just the power of Google. One place is selling it for 1900, another place is selling it for 19. Extended drone, bluegrass, Evo. Yeah, there's only about 2 or 3 of them here. But the actual drone itself by itself is $700.
Oh, okay. Wait, no. Okay. Then I got to be mistaken because the Anafi duel that I'm thinking of is $7,000 to walk into,
Oh, they're
and that's
definitely 2
not
different
completely
birds.
outfitted.
Those are definitely 2
So
different birds. Yeah.
yeah, unless I'm thinking about a different drone. Okay. Now, okay, Paul picked it up for 1,500. So Paul, I'm off base, man. Looking at the specs between them, okay, flight time, 31 minutes compared to 26 minutes on the
I'm looking
Anafi.
field of view 57 degrees, FLIR,
It's a
FLIR
fraction
sensor,
of the weight.
bolometer, radiometric, 3.5 FLIR system. It has spectrum band 8 to
Wait,
50
I got a side by
UMs.
side here.
DJI is going to be a more stable flight.
Thermal sensitivity, only 50 MKs. I'm not familiar with that terminology, but that's the thermal sensitivity. I don't know about thermal, so I don't know if that's good or bad, to be honest. But video recording resolutions, looking at 1440 at 1080 by 9 frames per second. Photo resolution is
Oh, so
is
it's a fixed. No, okay, it's not a fixed spectral band. Good. I was going to say, why would they go fixed on it? No, specs seem to be right alongside. Not much of a significant difference. I mean, flight time, descent speeds, maximum speed. There's differences there, but they're not. Maximum speed should not be a big difference to consider not in search and rescue.
right. Speed shouldn't be an issue at all.
Well, speed is an issue, but it shouldn't be the overriding factor.
But isn't that drone made out of styrofoam?
What?
Well, it's only,
Enough.
well, okay,
No.
so part of it is that, if you look at a Mavic 2 ED, you're talking about it being almost 900 grams compared to the listed weight of 315 grams
Right. The
for the
camera
Parrot
system on the
Anafi.
Anafi with the 180 view has some good points, but there is no real third-party support. Okay. All right. So once you buy the Anafi as that system,
Yeah, but
pretty
I
much your
believe
hands
the
are
Anafi
tied.
came out, it was like $7,000, wasn't it? I mean, how expensive was it when it first came out?
That's a good
Or
point.
maybe I'm talking about a different drone because the one we were shown was almost $7,000.
Wow.
And we were thinking we can buy 2 Mavic 2 EDs for that price. So why wouldn't we go that
Why
way?
would you spend 7,000 on
Yeah.
one and you can, yeah. And
So
get on and take off a lot faster than most people with the average drone. Filming intercool waterways. Okay, intercoastal waterways. All right, that's what's up, JRCs. That's how you do it. Get in there, make that money. The only other story we have left is this one here on for those of you who don't know, race day quads. We did something briefly on it a couple of times, but we didn't go too much into detail. This is an actual interview / podcast they have on this, how race day quads versus the FAA. And this right here is the FAA's legal ballot. This is race day quads challenging remote ID. And they had a few valid points. I think these points were also proven to not be so valid. But the point is, remote ID says anything after a certain time frame has to have some kind of way of transmitting its location, et cetera, as well as having to tie into a network. Well, the FAA says, okay, the network thing won't work because you don't have networks everywhere. Like, for example, where Tom is out there, that picture behind him, I doubt very much there's a very large network. You may have some cell service, if any at all. How is the cell service in the places where you go, Tom?
Well, it can be very spotty. When somebody says they're going to be off the grid, I know exactly what that means.
This is the point. This is the point that Race Day Quads was doing, but this is the actual form, this link here, with how they planned on challenging the FAA for this on their the GoFundMe page. But the NPRM's final rule compliance date, NPRM said flyers do need a remote ID 36 months after date goes into effect, which we know is a decent amount of time before everyone has to comply. The final rule was decreased to 30 months after. All right. The NPRM says 89.107 says airspace of the United States, which is very broad, the entire United States. And the final rule was no change. This effectively says that you are flying a drone in your backyard, friend's yard, grandma's farm, etc. Out of doors and above the surface of the earth, you will have to comply with remote ID. So all that about you not going to comply with it, whether you're FPV or not, don't comply and see what happens. Now, they said NPRM also had something to say with the network remote ID. Standard ID would have to transmit on the network if available. The final rule was the word network was removed because it's impossible to have a network all over the United States. There were just dead spots where there's no cell phone service or anything. So how they expected that to go through is beyond me.
That'll be out soon.
Yes. Now, one last thing two more things they had under the NPRM. Application deadline to get recognized. The deadline was removed because you can't tie someone's hand and say you have to do this by this time. It's just not possible. You can't put everyone in that categorization, but recognized identification areas. And this gets interesting because the final rule says, I have a concern that the FRIAs that get recognized, meaning AMAs and stuff like that, might have additional restrictions that the FAA did not account for that could restrict access. The AMA clubs, the issue is there are a lot of AMA clubs out there that don't like FPV pilots or FPV.
FPV pilots are the only ones that are starting to populate those realms also. They're dying off. They're
here in New York, yes.
AMA.
Yes.
So they have to embrace. Yeah, it depends. We can't make a global statement that they don't like drone flyers. A lot of AMA clubs are now based solely on drone flyers. I joined the Las Vegas Soaring Club out here. They're very nice people. They don't mind anybody, flying with them. But we know of other clubs in the New York area where there's an elitist mentality.
Hey, drone days.
Flying a quad, they think you are subhuman.
Hey, what's up, Colton?
I didn't get that article that Martin was talking about. But what I did know from with these guys in this lawsuit that they were pursuing, they had a certain amount of days to file from the final ruling date was implemented. They had a GoFundMe. I don't know how much money they raised. Um, I don't know. I'd like to see where it goes. Um, I didn't get a chance to read the article that Lawrence was talking about because I never got it. But I know I was the one that mentioned it before when we first mentioned it when they had talked about their lawsuit, and I knew that they had, it was very limited because they had, like I said, it was only that they had X amount of days to get legal representation and to file it once the final ruling date was implemented. So I don't know. I'd like to see where it's going to go.
Well, I would like to commend Race Day Quads, first of all, for forcing the FAA.
How much they were able to raise.
Well, the fact that Race Day Quads was able to say, hey, some of this stuff just isn't feasible, is a good thing, because it made them reconsider some of the rules as far as remote ID. How can we require someone to be on a network when the entire United States does not have networks in some places? As you know, and a network meaning a cell phone tower, cell phone relay station, Wi-Fi, anything that could say I'm here in this circle. And the idea is that someone had rumored, and I haven't heard any more about it. This was last year in 2020. Someone had rumored that the average price of a remote ID part that would go inside an FPV bird would be about $25 to $30. Well, like I said, I have not heard anything about anyone creating a part, but I do know FPV birds or stacks right now are coming with Bluetooth capability. And the NPRM does accept Bluetooth as a way of broadcasting where you are. Okay, it is a small bubble of and broadcasting where you are, because Bluetooth is quite limited, but it still says, hey, I'm here. You know, so if your bird has Bluetooth and it can transmit a little, I would like to see how this looks on radar. Would something in Bluetooth be a little bubble as opposed to a giant?
It's not radar. It's not radar.
Right, right.
With Bluetooth.
Right.
The thing is accountability. It comes down to accountability. You know, if short range broadcast meets the remote ID intent,
right,
the law, then it will be acceptable. Pure and simple. There's plenty of places out here I fly, and I've been flying both with camera drones, both with the FPV, both requiring me to make an internet connection. I don't have one. I'm still able to fly.
Right. Now, for the dead spots.
I'm just saying what Lawrence is talking about with Bluetooth connection. Like, how far can you get with Bluetooth connection?
Not very far.
Not very far.
Not very far.
I know, like with the Bluetooth for your ear or the Bluetooth speaker and stuff like that, I can actually toss you the drone.
Well, Ruben, basically,
hey, what's up, Ash?
I can point up my phone and go, okay, yeah, that's this, and this. That's what they're talking about, okay?
Yeah.
Within range. And if you can't see it within range, I guess you won't be able to see it. So,
hey, what's up,
right now, it's
Ash,
not
welcome.
stopping. It's not stopping me from.
Hey, Ash, what's up, man?
Well, you know, my only problem with them insisting that everyone broadcasts, right, 50 feet, you're right, Colton, because this Bluetooth right here, I'm sitting maybe 10 feet from my front door. And with this Bluetooth on, I can go to my front gate. Now that's talking through brick and everything. Outside, I have a range of maybe 50 to about 60 feet. That's roughly pretty close. That's nothing as far as actually being able to broadcast, but Bluetooth is a start.
Right.
You know,
well, I'm just saying, from where you are to where you're talking, without obstruction, I can toss you the drone.
Yeah. Which doesn't make flying the drone very fun if you can only stay within that circle. How's it going, Ash? And how's the FPV thing going? Droning on because I see you doing these live streams. I see you on a simulator, and I must say, you and a bunch of other people are the last people I would have thought to get into FPV. But this DJI FPV has converted so many people into the realm of goggle
So guys, can we
FPV.
just back up because I want to dispel. I think
I-
what we're putting out here is not accurate information. Okay.
What's
So
that?
look, we're not going to be using Bluetooth 2.0.
No.
We're going to
No.
be using 4.0 and higher, and Bluetooth 5.0 is out there now. Okay. So realize with Bluetooth 4.0, we're not transmitting through buildings. We're not talking about that. We're talking about clear air transmission, right? Somebody's not going to hold this up and go behind that building. Is something flying? I want to see it. No, they're going to see it in the air and they're going to point their phone at it, right? Okay. 328 feet is the range, is the maximum range currently of 4.0. It's 100 meters. That's more than enough distance.
I just Googled what is the range. I just Googled what is the range of Bluetooth 4.0, and it says outdoors around 100 meters.
100 meters is 300 and some odd feet. 328 feet. Okay. That's a football field. With the end zones.
Okay. Well, see, I didn't know what level of Bluetooth they were up to, but
well, they're going to be the systems that are going to be out there are going to be 5.0 or greater by the time it gets released. Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll have in clear. Remember how remote ID is supposed to work, right? Remote ID is supposed to work around the premise that is that drone okay? Who is it? It's like looking at a car. If you look at a car and try to look at the license plate, how many feet can you, I mean, depending on how old you are, whether you wear corrective lenses, okay, if you have 20/20 vision, you might be able to see that license plate for 50, 60 feet. Okay?
Well, I like I said,
honestly, I can see it from a distance. I just can't see the stuff that's right here.
That's right in front of you, man.
Well, Tom, you just put me on to something.
What can I, bro?
How many different versions? I didn't know how many versions of Bluetooth they had, Tom, but I just Googled what is the range of Bluetooth 5.0, and they say anywhere from 40 to 400 meters, which is 100 to 1,000 feet. That's a large enough bubble to be recognized. That's a large enough bubble to be recognized in remote ID.
Well, hell yeah. I mean, we're actually talking about,
see what Ash just said.
Hold on. We've all been flying FPV for 4 years. I've started the channel reviewing. You know what, Ash? Herman said that all the time. You fly FPV with your camera drone as well. And Herman has been saying that Bluetooth has a range of up to 2 kilometers. See, this is stuff that I'm just now finding out about.
It depends on, look, range is not a problem.
Salute, Ash.
Localized broadcasting, okay? And that, if you've read remote ID, you'll know they didn't go network. They went with broadcast mode.
Yes.
Okay?
Right.
And broadcast mode works a little better for a lot of us, okay? Because it's localized. You're not going to have people complaining about you from miles and miles away. Okay. You know, that's what so there's certain capabilities here. Now, when I point my device up and see it, I'm going to get limited information because I'm not law enforcement. I'm not the civil authorities. Okay. Now, if I'm the civil authorities and I point my device at it, I'm going to get a plethora of information. And that's how remote ID is destined to work. So, you know, look, the Bluetooth range will not be an issue that causes a problem. Now you're thinking about, well, how do I get authorization to fly in an area? Two different animals.
But Tom, they did say with the NPRM, they expect you to be on some kind of network or be able to broadcast in some way or form. If you are in an area where there is no cell phone service, but your drone is still broadcasting at whatever level it's broadcasting in, you should still be able to fly.
Yes, and here's why.
Within reason.
You have to have a network connection, okay, between your device and your phone. Your phone had to have had a network connection that it registered to. Now
Right.
you're out in the middle of bumfuck and you
Right.
have no connection. Well, your drone connects to your phone. Your phone authenticates your drone.
Exactly.
Your drone
And
is saying,
there's your
the
network.
drone now knows I'm so-and-so, I'm authorized to fly, and here's who I am. And you're up in the air and somebody points at it, they'll get information back.
Right.
Okay. That's the key here. Is did you connect at any point in time? Now, if you're talking about Lance and stuff like that, that's a completely different animal.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And
Right.
those issues in the next 2 to 5 years are going to be solved also. Okay.
Hey,
With
Stevie.
low orbit satellites.
Hey, Stevie, send me Mike's link, Fly Zone Drone Quadcopters link in Messenger if you can. I'd appreciate it so I can contact him after the stream. That just dawned on me. Yes, do that, please. I appreciate it. Okay, I'll hit you that way, Fly Zone Drone Quadcopters after the stream. It just dawned on me.
Colton Butler, right on the head there. I think it'll just be linked to our phone until it downloads metadata, your flight time. And that's all it's doing. It's just getting that handshake.
Until
Okay.
you reestablish
I belong to
with the working
so-and-so.
network, like a
Yeah.
cell phone service or whatever.
Well,
Well,
it hasn't stopped me from flying out here. It does give me a nag screen that'll tell me, am I authorized, this and
Yeah,
that. I got to
yeah.
click through
That-
there.
that-
You know, what plagued a lot of people was the interface originally, where they didn't actually make the checkbox look like it was a checkbox.
yeah, I
So
know.
you didn't know you had to check the box. So
This
that
is why
caused a
your
lot of people
DJI
problems.
products prompt you to download the FlySafe database, so that's when you're offline, it can still geofence you, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
it's a
that's what
requirement.
Ash put, and that's very, very true.
Also,
it's all about geofencing.
So let me just make one other thing clear. I am not the drone police. I'm not your brother's keeper. But if you fly commercially, you hold a Part 107, and you do this for a living, that means you also carry insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Don't update your firmware. Don't update your fly safe. Get into a problem and watch what happens. Watch the dance you have to do with your insurance company. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about your State Farm, you lost your drone. No, I'm talking about commercial work here. Okay? Whether it's with one of the online services or whether it's within, like I have
With Verify, or what
I
is
have
the-
BWI because I had BWI before for man aircraft, where this is an aviation insurance company. They check everything, man. If they're going to pay out a claim, they want to make sure that they're liable for that claim. Now, if you cut corners and didn't act safely and didn't meet the parameters of the regulations that exist, you're going to do a dance and it's going to cost you money. Yeah, and if they pay off your claim, all well and good, but watch that next premium invoice come in and it'll be a shocker. So, if you do this commercially, stay on the up and up. It's cheaper in the long run.
Okay.
Sorry, I was just typing it. Stevie, if you can send me Mike's link to Messenger, just so I can hit him up immediately after. Get it? It's brilliant.
Guys,
You know what, Ash? You are on that Flight Simulator 2020, right? I experienced the very first Microsoft Flight Simulator they had. And I remember how pixelated it was. And we all went out and brought the yoke joystick to fly the planes and stuff like that. But from what I've seen on that flight simulator, you can see the reflection in the glass on the planes of clouds going by and stuff
Well,
like
have
that.
you seen some of these setups these guys
Yeah.
are putting together?
I was talking to Herman about that, Tom, about how that plane that went down in Asia, somewhere in Asia, that disappeared, and they went to the guy's house and they found out he had a better flight simulator than what the that pilots were being trained on at the airports.
Yeah.
His simulator was better. He had like 4 screens going around. He had the metal pedals, metal everything. He had knobs.
Oh
and
yeah,
buttons.
There's plenty
And
of stuff out there.
It gets quite intricate.
Yeah,
It
there's
really
plenty of
gets
stuff out
quite
there.
intricate. Okay, thank you, Stevie. I
There's
got
some
it.
setups out there.
Thank
Oh
you
yeah,
much.
yeah, yeah, thousands and thousands of dollars.
Hey, Mike, I'm adding you as a friend
I've
now.
looked at a few of them, Tom.
I
I've
just
looked at a
added
few
you
of
as a
them
friend, Mike. So check your Facebook so I can hit you up after the stream.
because actually Ash was the one that told me to get this screen here I got here. So
Oh,
I just gotta
the monster screen that you have now?
yeah,
What size is that?
49-inch.
49-inch curve?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my
Which
I want to be
who-
buried in a
is that?
coffin with
Who
monitor.
makes that one? Is that the LG
Samsung.
or
Samsung.
Samsung?
And droning. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep up with the chat, and my PC is too trash to run some HD. I remember seriously the very first Microsoft Flight Simulator though, and back then we were still running 286 processors. That's how far back that simulator goes, Ash. Seriously.
I'm
Back
honestly having nothing but nightmares right now with
They got some nice ones now.
GeForce drivers and good old Windows, man.
Wow, what happened?
It makes for a nightmare. Sometimes you update a driver, the next thing you know, you can't render damn video. I struggled all morning trying to get this video out. It was a nightmare. So that's because my laptop.
What monitor are you
didn't
using,
update.
Ash? Oh, Samsung 120 megahertz refresh rate too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not
you
pushing
need the higher refresh rate.
if you're not pushing that refresh rate, you're wasting your time on today's simulator.
Well, if you're a gamer, you need a refresh rate like that, or if you're somebody who's susceptible from seeing the flickering, okay, with the low refresh rates. That's my problem, man. A low refresh rate, all I'm seeing is flickering. You get a headache real quick.
I used to think that you could get around stuff like that, but I know what it is, Colton Butler, to have a machine that's too slow. I was mentioning Mr. Herman a while back, also a few days ago maybe, and I was saying I remember there was a game called Mech Warriors 2. It was a PC game, giant mech robots, and my computer was so slow that when you spawn onto the screen, the guys would just stand around me with their guns and start shooting. So by the time I spawned, I was dead. That's how slow mine was. So I can relate, Colton. To I remember Microsoft
Flight Sim on the Commodore 64
on an 88 processor in 85. Brant Ariels is 100% correct.
Yeah,
1985.
Sure.
And an 8088.
I had an 8081.
Yeah, Ash, that's the one. 49-inch ultra wide.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what he has, Ash. He loves that monitor. And he's talking about stacking them, Ash. So you can imagine two 49-inch monitors on top of each other. That's my ultimate movie screen. Excuse me.
That you gotta go to zero bezel. Okay. No, I'm waiting for.
Oh, you have the 49-inch super ultra wide.
I'm waiting for the OLED wallpaper. Okay. That's what I'm waiting for. Okay. Cut me off 80 inches. Lord, thank you, baby.
The 32 was ultra wide.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 49. What's your resolution on the 49, Herman?
What is it, like 5? Damn!
It's got to be like 58 and change.
Yeah, 5K, 6K, easy. Well, it's come to that time, guys.
What time is it?
It's already.
It's the sun is shining here, so
it's yeah. Rub it in, why don't you?
Oh, by the way, this is Vegas. Also, people think Vegas doesn't have water. By the way, that's Vegas.
Yeah, I know. It's all man-made.
Okay. Ocean.
Look. So am I, baby. So am I. Okay?
We appreciate you all for coming in and joining in the live stream. Don't forget to check out Herm Wednesday nights with those guys. I believe Val's Life is coming on now, or any
She
second
started.
now.
If she didn't start already.
She didn't, I didn't get an alert yet. I don't think she started, but
Mhm.
Sunday nights with those guys is sponsored by
Those
guys.
guys.
And we appreciate you all for coming. Please continue to support us. Please continue to come back and support other channels that you see in the chat, etc. And Ash, you need to come back on again, man, so we can have a drink together, or just come and hang out again. We more than welcome you back on. Those of you who don't know, droning on Ash from Droning On is one of those guys as well. But listen, everyone, have a great week. Be safe, fly safer. You guys got anything to say before we get out of here?
Peace and love. Peace and love.
We will see you on
Baba
Wednesday.
Booey, Howard Stern
And you
speaks.
guys
Yes.
enjoy
yes.
the beginning of your week. I'll see
Yes.
you on Hump Day.
Yes, we'll see you on Hump Day.
Yep.
Everyone take it easy. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the support. And we'll see you on Wednesday, God willing. Good night.
Take care, everyone.
Good night, everyone.